Welcome to Greek Archaeology. We have a new Greek word, the work of the Father and the Son as revealed in the writings of John. Work comes from the Greek word ergon. It's Greek number 2041. The will of God requiring the work of God. That's the thesis we're working on with the development of each Greek word. So work appears in every verse below. And I've already showed you how to get the database, so I'm not going to show you that complicated database. But I'm going to show you 4 connectors. Let's look at 4 connectors. Actually, there's 5. There's one in green, one in yellow, one in blue, one in red. And let's go down and look at those. So here they are. And you can pause the video so that you can read these, but I'm just going to do a quick guide through instead of reading these verses. So let's start with the smallest but most important one is the green. This commonality of to finish his work. And in John 5 again, to finish the works. And in John chapter 17, he says, I have glorified you on earth, finishing the work which you have given me to do. So this finishing of his work is equivalent to the doing of his will. And what all of these verses, there's like all of these in John, what they all have in common is the word work. And that's capitalized and not colored, right? So here's works, 2 times in one verse. Work, work. This is ergon, ergon. Whenever it's bolded, it that is the word we're studying. The capitalized and bolded many times here in it, but it is for sure in every one of these verses, the word work. That's the common denominator. Now in the yellow, in almost every one of these verses also, actually every one of these does, because I selected with the Father being there and the work, those 2 things had to be present so I could see what is the work of the Father to determine. So then we can go on, we can look at the blue real quick, which is almost in it's in half of them all over again in the blue. And this is the poema word, the poema power. Now, but what specifically is the work? It's these in the red. And this will all be explained down below, so I'll let you read the verses. You can pause your video and read them. But I wrote, John repeatedly emphasized the relationship between the Father and the Son. He noted specifically that not only did they exist together, but also that they worked together to finish the Father's work. The work of the Father eventually becomes the work of the sons to finish. To finish appears 3 times in the above verses, but to finish what? We can't just make this up. What was the work to be finished by the Father, by the Son, for the Father? The only answer we are given is recorded in John chapter 5, 20, where we can see that this work is to 1, to raise the dead, and 2, to give them life. These 2 items are again confirmed in John chapter 6, 27 and 40. To follow the hot trail of these 2 words, the next YouTube video archaeological studies will be to raise the dead. We'll look into that Greek word, and we'll look into the Greek word for give them life. Okay, so however, I would like to make an important insertion at this time. The early church paid much attention to this heavy use of Jesus constantly talking about not Joseph, but this invisible Father and him as the visible Son. It captured their attention, eventually leading them to invent the word Trinity to describe Jesus' mystical talking of the Father, the Son, and the ever more mysterious Comforter, the Holy Spirit. In the verses below, we can document that the Son would send the Spirit from the Father to finish the will and the work of the Father and the Son. Great sentence, huh? The Spirit here is another anchored connection. There's just no colors with it. So let's look in these awesome verses that I put together here for you. John 14 and 14 and 15 and 16. Read all these verses. I'm not going to take the time to read them to you now, but I'm going to come down here to my summary. Together, from the above, we can see the work of the Spirit was to teach, to remind, to guide, to declare new things, to testify of the Son, and to glorify the Son. To work together within the Trinity to accomplish the will of God. So, last thoughts. This pairing of the will with the work is an important concept that is further developed in the New Testament. Ephesians 1:11, according to the purpose of the one who works all things according to the counsel of his will. Philippians 2:13, for God is the one energizing in you both the willing and the working for his good pleasure. Here they're paired again. Maybe these two Greek words are a married couple, Thelma and Ergon. Great universal balancing forces that work together like day and night, hot and cold, push and pull. Is it true that all forces in the universe exist in pair? Well, yes, it is. I went and got you this lesson summary from off the web. Forces always act in pairs. Newton's third law of motion states that for every action force, there is an equal and opposite reaction force. So that's what we have going on here, is these two great power forces, a yin and a yang in the universe, working together to accomplish God's grand plan. We can see it with planetary motion, we can see it with the creation of the universe, and it's with God's invisible personal work as well, not just the creation of the universe. So there we go. We'll see you in the next video.